The boys have never been out to the Cook Islands. There's a lot of travel involved. Points to 3, no tries conceded. I think it was a good result.
Hong Kong with the ball, Rossley, and it's going to be a try. Thomas Lamboli, he'll open the scoring for Hong Kong.
I think we just have better structures. We've been together for a lot longer, so everything kind of clicked. They've only been together for a couple of weeks, so it's understandable that they had some disconnections in both their defence and their attack. So the fact that we've been together for so long really helps.
Hong Kong obviously had a few games under their belts, and we just got together for the last couple of weeks. So yeah, there was a little bit of miscommunication in some patches, but our boys came through all right.
Koteke gives it out to Smith Wanu. Little offload. And now Cook Islands, and the ball's been lost. Well picked up by Jamie Lauder.
The match last week, what let us down was our defence. Our preparation coming up to this week. We've worked a lot on our defence and a lot of what we need to work on. But the preparation has been really good. The boys have been really good. It's still a bit jet lagged, but we're ready to go tomorrow.
I think we've worked a lot around the ruck area and, not over-committing to rucks. That's probably was our main one. Again, came down to continuity and communication. And so we've been working hard on that this last week.
A lot of players here are real fortunate to even be in this team. Regardless whether we win or lose, I'll be happy and the boys will still be happy that we've got this opportunity to be here and be in this upcoming World Cup qualifier.
We've got a fast, fit team. As long as everyone puts in, as much effort as possible, and gets their own jobs right, I think we're going to do a job on these boys.
If we can focus on a couple of things we needed to improve on last week, up front's going to be big for us. So we've got to make sure our set piece functions really well, and hopefully we get a good crowd down here and we can have some put on a good show and score some good tries.
Hello everybody and welcome down to the Hong Kong Football Club here in Hong Kong for the second leg of a World Cup qualifier between hosts Hong Kong and the Cook Islands, who have travelled a long way to be here. Both teams have, back from Rarotonga last weekend, and we are getting ready for kickoff in this huge fixture for both these nations. 27 degrees you see there, very humid, and a little gust of wind there, 5 miles an hour, which is surprising really. It could have been 35 plus here today, but the clouds have come across and kept the sun off the pitch, and that'll be good for everybody. A few Cook Island fans based here, expatriates in Hong Kong, and they'll be looking forward to this. Last week, 26-3 Hong Kong doing the job on the Cook Islands, 4 tries to 0. Very happy indeed they were, keeping the Cooks tryless in that event. So all the pressure on the Cook Islands today to try and beat Hong Kong by 23 points or more and take that spot in the repechage in November in France, where Canada lay waiting, and most likely it'll be Germany, and then Africa 2, Namibia, Kenya or Zimbabwe. And I'll bring in my co-commentator now, the one, the only, Mr. Jed Thyon. Hello, Jed.
Hello, Boozer. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, viewers right around the world. And Hong Kong taking centre stage in this qualifying process today. What a game it is. Blood versus science, ladies and gentlemen. One place, one team, rich in human resource. The other team, rich in financial resources. They come head to head here on the crossover point of East meets West. What a game. What an occasion.
Here we see some pictures coming in from just moments earlier. There's Stan Wright, the Cook Islands coach. You can see there, that won't last in this humidity here. There's the Cook Islands team, skippered from hooker, Sam Anderson Heather. And look out in the second row, Sean Edu, number 5. He is a big man. And last week we saw some real busting through the midfield. Look out for Jean Tiamo, Christian Vineri, and his threats all along the back line there that Hong Kong will have to be on their wits. Number 8 also Tyrone Vainga, playing his rugby in France for Béziers. Just one of 3 or 4 of these players that are based in France. The rest playing their rugby scattered around New Zealand, Australia, and several at local clubs in the Cook Islands. They're a hodgepodge of a team, only had a week together. Here is Hong Kong. It's got a steady look about it. Skippered at number 4, James Cunningham, and we'll tell you a bit about Nick Hewson in a moment. An all-valley back row. Max Denmark comes into the left wing for Connor Hartley, and Adam Fulgrave takes the number 1 spot, outing Dan Barlow. And that's a steady-looking side indeed. Lee Jones, the coach. And look at these benches here. Alex Post last week came on and played hooker, only in town on holidays and got called into the squad, found himself in Rarotonga. There you got the Parfitt brothers, dynamic number 8, Kane Boko. Then we're number 9, Jamie Lauder. Forgot to mention also that Kadu Lee has come into number 9 for Liam Slatum, who failed a physical yesterday. Kadu Lee leapfrogging Jamie Lauder. Coaching staff just thinking he didn't have perhaps yet ready for the big match temperament. And Kadu Lee plays a similar game to Liam Slatum, so they don't have to change the game plan. There are the Dirty Dirties, the wider Hong Kong squad, as we welcome onto the field now the solitary figure of Nicholas Hewson. He is on the field. There's a standing ovation. There he is, Nick Hewson, in his 56th international today. Most capped Hong Kong player. What a soldier this man is. Burst onto the scene in 2009. Debuted against Germany in Heidelberg. And he's only missed 12 internationals since 2009. You put that together with his club record here with his team Valley. There are no more legends in the game in Hong Kong than that man. And a fitting moment for Hewson. A wonderful bloke, a great player, a great father and husband as well. And we wait now for the Cook Islands team as they come out onto this field. What a moment for them, so far from home and with so much at stake. Can they pull one out of the bag here? It's a big challenge for them. We've heard all week the energy amongst the squad is high. They are up for this. They've had another week together. They were thrown together. They had 1 week and a half to prepare for Rarotonga, and they've travelled. The bonding that comes from touring, that will be worth a few points by itself. And they were a little bit disappointed with themselves last week. Couldn't really get anything going, but Hong Kong's defence was good too. And we stand by now for the national anthems of the Cook Islands and China. Been sung, and how good does that feel so far from home, listening to your national song to get you riled up. And we'll get ready now for the Cook Islands haka, and that first time to be seen on these shores as the Hong Kong team lines up on the 10 metre. And ironically, the winner of the repechage will go through to Pool C, which features New Zealand. One of these teams could face a haka of a different sort next year in Japan. Absolutely brilliant, led by Rob Heather, the blindside flanker. And that's something special, this crowd appreciating. Hong Kong, though, have got a haka of their own, which involves a couple of sprints to get back in to the right frame of mind. Hong Kong on a 7-match winning streak, the longest in the country's history. And Jed Thine, what more can we say about Nick Hewson?
Well, nothing really needs to be said. The only words he needs to hear right now are go do the job, Nick. There's a big carrot hanging at the end of this stick. They've got 80 minutes to get across Stan Wright's mob from the islands. And let's be honest, when these guys paddled away from the island at the beginning of the week, no one was really expecting to see them come back. That's the attitude they've got. You can see it in their faces. This is one-way traffic as far as the cooks are decided. What a game we're getting here. This will be an absolute stonker.
Here's our referee, Damon Murphy, all the way from Australia, a man with a lot of credibility. And we saw there the coaches, Stan Wright for the Cook Islands. Played 9 caps, scored 9 points, which suggests that he's a kicker of goals. And Lee Jones from Hong Kong. Both these teams on a journey as Matt Rosley goes deep. And I think he's gone too far. Right off the bat there's an error. Try to get every centimetre out of that kick. And we'll come back for the first scrum of the game, which wasn't really dominated last week by either side. 50-50, I would say at best. So right on the halfway, here's a chance for the Fatties, and I'm sure that's a perfect start for all 6 of those front rowers, Jed.
What a matchup this will be. They were tussling away pretty evenly last week. Incredibly, almost coming up to the height of summer in Hong Kong, and the conditions are quite cool overhead. Very nice indeed. The Cooks might have brought the island breeze with them.
Walter Koteka, number 9 there from the West Scarborough Club in Perth, and it goes straight down that one very rapidly. Dylan Rogers on this side up against AJ Campbell. He's from the Norths in the Brisbane. Dylan Rogers from the HKU Sandy Bay Club locally. Mr. Murphy with a keen eye on this. The Cooks are split. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. 4 to the left, 2 to the right. And going early, says Mr. Murphy. Here they go. It's the big man, Tyrone Vainga. Goes into Hewson and Kalika. They slow him down. Kalika gets spit out the back. Cooks are deep, coming at this from depth. That looks good. Here goes Christian Vainarani. But they've run out of space though, and Damon Murphy comes back for a penalty right in midfield. Offside, I think, and could this be a chance for early points?
Straight into the job, I'd say the Cook Islands. There'd be no reason not to take the 3 points. Remember, they're starting from a 26-3 deficit last weekend. They've got to make the points back. The winner was the team winning on aggregate.
So it'll be Reece Joyce, the fly half from the Mount Albert Club in Auckland. Didn't have much work last week with the boot. Want to welcome everybody in as well from the Cook Islands and all around the world. Great having you with us.
Kia ora.
A special moment, yes. Kia ora. Looking straight down the barrel here from 41 metres. A very light breeze. Gives it a good steer down. It's on its way. It looks straight. He's trying to bend it in with his head. He hits the post. Oh, Delaforce has lost that one forward. Now they're hot on attack. And Jack Newell looks like he's unconscious at the bottom of that. And that's not a good sign. A cruel bounce there for Hewson and Delaforce. And the Cooks now 10 metres out with an attacking scrum.
Well, there was a big contact that Jack Neville took head on. And it's a massive concussion as the bodies clattered into each other. Jackie Neville, he looks groggy. And this will be a bit of a spanner in the works as far as Hong Kong's concerned. Absolute flyer. He's devastating on the front foot. But thankfully, his day has ended. I'll be taking extra special care of Jackie Neville. He's a bit of a magic bullet for this team at the back. But the day's over for the Kowloon Flyer.
Blood from the mouth there. That's a sad sight for the young man. He doesn't look well at all. I assume Jamie Hood will be coming on. The veteran, yes he is, 30th cap today. Spent some time with the Rico Black Rams in recent seasons. A very level head. Probably played 1,000 games of sevens for Hong Kong. Home ground for him, and now a big scrum here for the Cooks. They've got 2 to the blind.
Important scrum for Hong Kong here. This is a big moment.
Bind! Set! Ball there! Go!
That's a good scrum, steady. Oh, just going in early there. Koteka gets the back line underway.
Leave it now, miss!
Hood straight into action there. Max Woodwin's at the bottom of that. The big man line up. Zvainga. Koteka fires it off. They look for a target in midfield. This is Eru Smith-Wano. And no one's going forward there. Hong Kong backline comes up and just cuts that one off. Lambale gets on top of Koteka, shows a bit of daylight. Campbell delivers to his front row mate, Pakoti. Hewson trying to do the damage there, holding them up. And Roberts is in there too. And yeah, good defence from Hong Kong. The Cooks going in too high there, a little bit complacent. And they've turned it over, says Mr. Murphy. So 5 minutes in, and it's all Cook Island so far.
Hong Kong managing to stem the flow there. There's all sorts of pressure coming in from the Cook Island team at the moment. They're in the right part of the park. One gets the feeling this Cook Island team is going to chase the score no matter what. Well, Hong Kong are defending, they're not attacking, so that helps them a lot.
Here's a setter then for Hong Kong. Their first feed. There's Kadu Lee. He's had some time himself over at NEC Green Rockets in Japan.
Outstanding local talent, Kadu Lee. He really makes things happen. He's one of those players, he'll force the issue. Halfback, kind of guy when he gets on the front foot, can make a lot of difference.
Crouch!
Campbell against Rogers again on this side. Pakoti up against Fulgrave on the other side. Cook's going for a shove there. It's a little bit buckled. Rogers pops up. Arm goes out. And there's a tick in the box for Ned Kelly and the forwards. Damon Murphy having a word as well. And there's a bit of a tussle off screen there. Jamie Hood injecting himself immediately. So Messrs Fulgrave, Roberts and Rogers can take that as a win. Rosley now will probably pump this down into the Cook Islands half if he can. So early words there. Scrum's a little untidy.
Sam Anderson-Heather, the Otago captain, and recently been informed that he used to join the Canterbury Crusaders at the end of the stint with the Cook Islands. And he just recently found the call out, so.
Ooh, a little toe on the line there, and the assistant referee spotted that one. Perfectly judged from Rosley, he'll say. And he's peeled off a good 60 metres there, if not more. That's a monster kick from the man from the Cape. Here we go, look at that little pinky toe on the line there. And he looks down and he knows it. So Roberts first line out, Hong Kong. Up goes Cunningham. Hewson secures the ball. There's not much in front of them. Hewson still has it. Feeds it back to Roberts. Lambole gets pushed around the side. Smashed by Wainga. Slow ball. But Kaduli goes on a searching run, gets clattered. Fulgrave has to tidy that one up. So a little bit of miscommunication there, maybe between Kaduli and his runners. And a little knock on that contact. So here's an attacking scrum. A bit to the right of the posts and about 26-7 metres out. A big blind to work with, but Yu Kam Shing doesn't look interested at this stage.
Time.
Well, there's a significant lack of real estate at the Hong Kong Football Club, as marvellous as this venue is. It is a postage stamp compared to a lot of pitches you'll find in the islands or New Zealand or anywhere else they got grass and room. So it won't be ideal for Hong Kong to be standing in front of this very fired up Cook Island team. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Crouch.
It's going to be a big day in the office for the 8 men up front.
Point.
Great shot through the tunnel there.
Set.
Cook's try, but Hong Kong is steady. Lambole from the back urges them on. Dylan Rogers comes up again, and this time no one towards, says Mr. Murphy. We'll put that one down again. Slight advantage there to Hong Kong.
Stay in the sun.
Up effort from Hong Kong. Absorbed it. Dropped the knees, put the shunt on. Caught the Cooks out, overbalanced. Gee whiz, it's a fairly in-depth 9.5 minutes, isn't it, Bees?
Lots of action here.
Point.
30 minutes worth of action in other games. Here we go again. Hewson on the side. It starts to buckle again. Oh, the pressure going in. Rogers pops up again. Not sure what's going on there. Rosley, Yu Kam Shing off his wing, beats the first, slips out of it. Up to the 22 now. Woodward goes in. Kaduli just gets there just in time. Has a look. Here goes Rogers. He's got Della Force and Fulgrave with him, and it squirts out the side. That's untidy. Joyce gets it away under fire. They might come back for the knock-on, no. So, all action indeed.
Scrambled well to get out of that one. There's good desperation. Early signs from the Cook Islands. He's right in the scrap. Nice clearance. Look at the pressure coming on all the time. Delaforce coming through with an attempted charge down. Good stuff. Both teams up for it.
Make the call, Jed. There's nothing wrong with that. On the front foot, Rosley, Lex Kalika beats the first. Into Delaforce to Woodward. This is good from Hong Kong. They're in the red zone now. Where's Kaduli? Fulgrave goes in. Gets tackled after the pass. Rosley searching forward. Fulgrave again. He's busy. The loose head. Here's the tight head, Rogers. No way he's passing it. Toby Fenn. First time we've seen him so far. Skipper Cunningham makes another couple of desperate inches. This is how they started the game last week. Fenn beats one. Lambole's on his shoulder. Hewson, the valley back row and Song. Here they come wide. It's Hood. It's Yu Kam Shing. Hong Kong go in for the first try of this game. Well worked by the forwards, and the backs finish it off in the corner. It's 5-0, Jed.
Really worked from Hong Kong to absorb pressure in the opening minutes of the game. The Yu Kam Shing, a genuine crowd favourite. And that is a terrific effort from Hong Kong. The closing moments of it now. Good, accurate passing. Draw and pass. Space created down the outside. Yu Kam Shing over. Not even a canter. What an outstanding servant of Hong Kong rugby Yu Kam Shing has been. And here's another one. Matt Rosley. Hong Kong will be absolutely delighted with that. The wider squad and the coach. They were getting a pounding down on their line no more than 5 minutes ago. They scratched their way down there. And now they've really asked the question of the Cook Islands.
in his 46th game today. Yu Kam Shing, the Tigers flyer. As you say, he's been around for a long, long time, and both 7s and 15s. Rosley from wide out. He can take some time to get his radar going, so this will be a good tester for the man, a good sighter. That looks good, in fact. That's a beautiful nudge from the sideline. And Rosley puts the 2 points on top. They take the 7-point lead after 12 minutes against the run of play, you might say. But they'd put a little bit of pressure on, and they've come away, importantly, with 7 points. And Cook Islands will have to come away with some points when they get in the red zone now.
We have to commend Hong Kong for that effort. They've come away. There's no scratches on the car as far as they're concerned. Yep, it's been hard and heavy. They've come back well on the home side.
Joyce goes under that one with the pitching wedge. Cunningham misjudges it, falls to Hewson. Throws it into his skipper. Rosley has a look up and just squirts that one along the ground into the hands of Hanley. Off he sets. That's a good surge from the fullback. They need a couple of runs like that to fire everybody up. But Bryn Uraria Rao couldn't take that one, and that was an unforced error, and that's the sort of error that just blows your momentum, and that's what happened last week as well. Whenever they were looking lively, a little mistake like that would just slow everything down, and Stan Wright sitting down in front of us, shaking his head furiously.
Oh, well, that's one of those old-fashioned, oh, come on, cuz moments there. Yet further evidence of why the forwards don't like the backs.
So these scrums still haven't settled down. It's all happening on this side as we look at it. Rogers against Campbell. Can Rogers keep his head in this time? That looks better from the Biltong Chief. That's a good platform. Rosley goes across field. Kalika on the big bash into Joyce, who takes him down on the halfway. Round the corner come the forwards. Jack Delaforce. He's got Cunningham and Hewson with him. Roberts is the link man. Here goes Max Denmark with his first run. He's an excitement machine on his home ground. He's still going. This 18-year-old full of beans. It's slow, but it's come back. Rosley takes them on by himself. Roberts comes round just in time. Lee goes blind. Kalika again. There's a little overlap if they can work it. Woodward does well just to secure that one. It's ugly and it's still in field. Some good counter rucking going in there. Adam Fulgrave, his first cab off the rank. Look at the line speed of the Cook Islands. How is it? It's coming up in an arc there. 1 up, 3 back. There's a head clash. Here comes Woodward. He's full of running too. Into the 22 they come again. Kaduli looks up, sees Rosley. He sees Yu Kam Shing. Can't get around the outside of Udairare now. And they put Hood over the sideline, and there's a bit of feeling in this, ladies and gentlemen, as you'd expect, right in front of a pocket of Cook Islands fans who are egging their players on.
Well, the verdict's clear from the grandstand. There's no doubt about that. And time being blown off at the moment as a couple of team mechanics take a look over Matt Rosley and his general condition. And on the far side, one of the Cook Island boys is down on his haunches just at the top of your screen there. You can see him. Looks like that's going to be a blood bin.
There is Big Stan. 9 caps for the Cook Islands, 9 points. He was asked if they had a chance of winning this, and his reply was that he said, I played in a Heineken Cup match against Northampton. We were down by 36 and we still won. And that was for Leinster. 94 caps for Leinster, Stan Wright. Amongst his other achievements, there is Lee Jones.
So I'm going to have a chat. I think I've seen it. I'm going to have a chat to him now about it, and we're going to leave it when we play the line out.
Gavin Murphy's getting the second opinion on this one.
Who's captain now?
Stan Wright was known as the Cookie Monster at Leinster. Coming from
James
the Cook
Wright,
Islands, very popular over there.
Who's captain?
2 European Cups. He dream team in 07 and 08 for the
We're at a discussion down
European
there. This is
competition.
your final warning. I don't want any more
It's a
niggle pushing after the ball.
Genuine
or
force
hitting
to
the
be
ball after
reckoned
the ball.
with, there's no
Understand?
doubt about it.
Hey, 5 goal here in 12 here.
Panel, isn't it? With
Hey,
Andrew
Sam,
Walker.
it's rubbish. It's out of the
Dual
game.
International.
You have a chance to chat to him now if you want.
One,
Yeah.
one test for league.
Just here. Mark's here. It's all good. Yeah, yeah.
And
So just having a
Caminero,
chat.
The beast.
Just getting rid of the niggle. All good.
Rugby league players in New Zealand's history.
So you've got push. You've got push here too.
And Manly.
Yeah,
Manly, yes. Wigan, Leeds. The Warriors. A very exciting man with ball in hand as we
Let's go, boys.
both teams enjoying this
Time on.
impromptu little break here.
Yeah,
We're going to
I'll
restart
give you a
with
chance,
Cook
don't worry,
Island's
'cause they're walking
first
in, you'll
line
get a
out
chance.
of the game. It's Sam Anderson Heather from Otago. Played against the Lions last year for the New Zealand Barbarians. And that's well off the top, but it's a bit behind Joyce. Gives it up to Vainga, who gets shunted in the first hit by Cunningham. Joyce this time gets it away under the attention of Houston. Hasn't gone long enough, no, and Max Denmark takes that one. It's messy. Trailing back is Fenn. And, well,
In front.
Damon Murphy says that was knocked on and then taken by Fenn in front of the player, which a bit harsh in my opinion. But anyway, they're 50 metres out. What's the call here? Make the call, Jed.
Downtown is the call, quite clearly. Let's just see how far downtown he goes. To the 22.
It's knocked down to one shy.
It's in the rough direction, though. I mean, I know that allegedly it's down that way.
Here we go. What happened here? It goes backwards. Lee locks it back, and everyone's running backwards, and yet
Sam,
Yeah.
on the line, please.
could have gone either way. But anyway, it's a line out on the 22.
The third line's test against the All Blacks too, Boozer.
Up goes Korda, number 4. And they make their way to the 22. Look at Fenn in there. That's what he does. Joyce gets it away to Tiamo. Wesley College product. They're lining up now. Here's Campbell. Good run from him. Massive clean out from Sean Edu. A drop kick. And no, it's a penalty.
I've warned you.
Not sure what happened there, Jed,
With
but
that. Back. I've warned you.
the drop kick go
I've warned
over.
you.
Definitely a penalty for Hong Kong, and I think Matt Rosley and Sean Eru got to know each other pretty well in that last exchange. Probably swapping email numbers by the looks of it. And snap drop goal.
It's an interesting choice, isn't it? 3 points.
Pretty much like saying I'm innocent. As you can see, Sean Eru, well, plays his rugby for Perpignan. He's a great big man.
It's 196 centimetres.
Not that Matt Rosley's any sort of shrinking violet, but one is a lock, playing top 14 rugby in France, and the other one is the first 5'8".
No need for it.
Eru there just giving the assistant referee the stare down there.
Well, not a quantity surveyor, but a lock.
Delaforce at the back. They shuffle it back to Roberts. He finds himself on open territory. Fenn somehow lurking in the back line. Rosley pops it in behind. And it's been knocked on
Knock on by yellow.
by Marnus Hanley. Plays his rugby out of the Mount Maunganui club. There's Max Denmark, Mount Maunganui. Beautiful part of New Zealand.
Denmark, he's probably one of the only players that's naturally physically on the same par as a lot of his counterparts, a lot of his opposition players. A good man to have out wide, particularly on defence. You've got a kid who's a natural 6 or 7. He's able to make the tackles, and his immediate instincts to get up and over the ball. These smaller paddocks, that's good for Hong Kong to have a man who's can carry the load out wide in a wide channel. He's going to help you with the ball for sure.
Fine.
So halfway through this first half, just the one try to UCam Shing. The scrums have settled down finally, and Lambalay off the back. The two centres come through on dummy runs. Hood under fire, decides to pull out of that one. Yu Kam Sing takes on about 5 cookies. He's on the 22. Rossley comes in and does the damage there. Good work from the fly half. The Cooks fly out of the line, and Cunningham takes some solid contact. There goes Fulgrave, tries to get the big wing free to pop that up. Roberts picks and goes. He's got Fenn with him. Look at the cookies going in there. Surely they're going to get this one. No, they just needed to stay on their feet there. They had a fair chance at that one.
One yellow, minimal impact.
Their own weight. They were lucky there, Hong Kong.
No arms.
Roberts ruled out last week through injury. Hong Kong took 3 hookers to Rarotonga. Luckily they did too, because the first choice hooker, Jamie Sang, strained his neck in the warm-up. Couldn't play. Ben Roberts was down there injured as well. It was left down to Alex Post to play the full 80, and what an 80 he had. Roberts is back this week. And Rosley's going to settle things down. Here we are, the 21st minute. Shot at 3 points here. Some interesting stats about these teams, Jed. A lot of people might look at this Hong Kong team and say, where are all the Asians, as we saw on the Facebook feed last week. You don't need to be Asian to be a native of Hong Kong. 11 out of this 23 born in Hong Kong, and the rest of them mainly are long-term Hong Kong residents. As Rosley lines this up, shouldn't trouble him, and it doesn't. Got to go out. 10 points to 0 in the 22nd minute. The crowd's a full house here today at the football club. There's Tyler Spitz there, injured himself in the last match here of the Asia Rugby Championship. Unfortunate for him to miss out on the series, but Lex Kalika came back from injury to take his spot at 12. It is 10-0. And just looking at the Cook squad, in fact, 7 or 8 of the players last week in Rarotonga was their first time they'd been to the Cook Islands. So expatriate Cook Islanders playing their rugby around the world. Big contact on Yu Kam Sing here for the restart. Hong Kong pegged in their 22, and Cook Islands need to apply some pressure now. Trailing by 10 means they need to score 33 unanswered points to stay in this tie. This series, should I say. Rosley unloads, and he's pushed it down to halfway. It's the big number 8, Tyrone Vainga. Gives it into his fullback, Hanley. He goes high. Looks like he's got some good distance on that. Rosley comes in, doesn't have to jump. Hanley brings him down. Hood now goes deep. Joyce is back there, and the chase is lethargic, and Joyce has no one with him. There's no one within 20, 30 metres, so he's got no option. And it'll be good to see him start to get into the game as well. Just attack the line, perhaps. He's distributing. Unable to impose any game plan so far. Hanging in there as Roberts hits Lambalay. Kadu Lee hits Rosley, who hits Kalika. They're on the halfway. Workhorse Houston goes over the top. They switch back to the blind. Rosley. He's under threat there. Lambalay comes in and just does enough.
Back, 3.
Cunningham gets taken around the sort of chops area. Going backwards, Hong Kong. It's messy. Hoodie, this is what he does. He can read a game. It's a foot race. Hanley comes across. It's a vicious bounce. That's the sort of bounce you can get on these artificial pitches, and Hood complains about the intentional knockout. He gets the penalty, but not the penalty try. What is he asking for here?
Deliberate. There's a player here to play the ball. Therefore, it's a yellow card.
Was he going to score?
15 yellow. 15 yellow.
Defending player, he's either going to get carded.
You've deliberately thrown the ball
Pretty cynical.
into touch with the opportunity here.
Surprised to see the
for a line
referee
break, it's
rummaging
yellow card.
around, and there it is. So
No, because there was cover.
Cook Islands down to 14. 15 minutes remaining
Time
in the
back on.
first half. Now they really are under the gun.
Deliberately throwing the ball.
It's Marnus. Hanley on the naughty chair for 10.
Yeah.
Not sure we'll get a replay of that, but the product of Rotorua Boys High School there.
Well, a lot of the problem is, not really a lot of the problem, but the reality is with this Cook Island team, a lot of them play rugby league. And this is something you can get away with in league. Wrong code here, though.
Delaforce goes up. Fenn takes it off him. They're a metre short now. Kaduli, they're coming round the corner. It's Rosley. There it is. Max Woodward goes in unopposed for try number 2. And that was supremely worked from the line out by Hong Kong. That'll have Lee Jones tapping his toe in appreciation. Woodward gives us a smile.
Yep.
Got a try last week. And that's 2 in the series to the Big Valley Centre.
Okay.
And there we have it. Down to 14. Fullback
Thanks,
not
mate.
home. Cause and effect. And there it is. Hong Kong march down, kick the door wide open, and slot one right in the middle. This could be a very, very, very tough period of time for the Cook Islands. They'll get 15 back with 10 minutes to go. Excuse me, with 5 minutes to go. There's Rosley slots a conversion. Very tidy for Hong Kong. 17-point lead. Given the result last weekend, Hong Kong, if they keep scoring, they're only going to be feeling more and more confident about booking that plane trip in November.
That was slick, wasn't it? I mean, that's drill work in the car park. And it's beautiful when it comes off.
They've done well to recognise the space, Hong Kong. Good skills to move the ball there. They didn't blink. They've just put the knife right in and let the Cooks hurt.
It's the sort of play, too, that will score them tries against anyone. Come to the repechage. Here they go again. Kalika goes over the shoulder. Was it knocked on? Ref has the arm out.
Advantage over.
This is Anderson Heather with the truck it up. But there's just no one there. One supporting player, and it was Koteka. Where were the forwards? Hood making a real nuisance of himself there, as he is wont to do. I say that in the nicest of ways. But it was a little bit of one-upmanship, and we saw that last week where there was just some classy moments from individuals. Forward pack not really working as a unit yet, as you would expect, being thrown together. Here they are, though, with the advantage from that knock-on. So on the 22,
Crouch!
there's a big blind, but they're not going to use it.
Bind!
What can they cook up with one of their attacking backs missing?
Pre-engaged far side here.
Or will we see
We spoke about in the sheds.
big Tyrone Vainga come off the back, the heaviest player out there at 123 kilos. Playing in the Béziers club in the France.
Crouch!
Regardless if the Cook Islands are going to go forward to win the series, they do want to put in a good effort here today for themselves and their fans. Yet to score a try in this series. And they've messed that scrum up completely. It's a short arm. Rosley now will just clear this one away, and that's tragic for the Cooks.
Boys, back 10, please. Back 10. Back 10. You don't determine 10. Back 10.
Indeed. Gets Hong Kong out of the half. Another good clearance. He's getting them into the other end of the field quite nicely today, Matthew Rosley.
Lou, across. Across.
So they're back in their own half. Anderson Heather. Joyce. Lurking in the back line is Smith Wano. Around the corner comes Campbell. Puts the big knee in there, the big Maori side step. It's slow though. There's only one Hong Kong player there, and he's on the bottom of the ruck, earning the Cook Islands a penalty. Fulgrave couldn't get away there, but Hong Kong committing No bodies to that ruck, and still it was slow.
A mistime clearance from Joyce. I won't be massively impressed with his ability there, or the outcome, I should say. Set piece for the Cook Islands has been working pretty well at line out time. Quantity like Uru, Anderson, Heather delivering. Good disruption by Hong Kong.
They win it back. Denmark finds himself with a bit of space. That's the only invitation he needs. Look at the balance of this young man. Up to the halfway now. They stay blind. Delaforce to Hewson to Lamberlake.
Forward pass.
And he gets bundled into touch there, but it was a forward pass. Just nicely working that short side. Good slick hands. I don't think we've seen a handling error yet from Hong Kong, except for that penalty on halfway a couple of minutes ago. Good skills. And I think a step up from last week, which is what Lee Jones was looking for, the intensity. Team a little bit disappointed they couldn't put the Cook Islands away any more than they did.
Well, interesting times for the Cook Islands. 10 minutes left to go. They've got a player on the chair.
What happened last week? Let's try and slow the ball down constantly.
Yeah, no.
My French.
Hong Kong out to a 17-0 lead. It's a hell of a deficit marching into half time. They need a score here absolutely desperately.
Yeah, so I'm chat to him now. Yeah.
And Hong Kong, well, they're playing with some real freedom, relaxed.
Yeah. That's right, yeah.
It's still quite hot though.
Are we all good or?
They're looking a little bit more at home with the collisions and the heavy body contact than they did last weekend in Rarotonga.
I understand what you're saying. That's not what I saw. That's why they went that way. Understand? But I'm going to monitor
Got all
for
the
you.
answers
If they
for
do
this
go back,
Cook Island
you'll get
selection
rewarded.
today. Anderson Heather just
Time back on.
keeping the communication lines with the referee well open.
Here's Jack Neville.
Well, he looks a little bit healthier now. It's good to see him sitting it out, though. I suspect it'll be early holiday for Jackie Neville.
Front row, both teams. That's one pre-engage.
Beside the old master, Ben
Next one
Rimini.
will be a full arm against either pre-engages. Make sense?
Yep,
One
badminton
in, that's your
champion.
first warning. Next one will be a full arm. Next one will be a full arm.
Games undefeated.
Here's your mark.
Back in. 18 caps for Rimini. Good to see Neville smiling down there. Took a hell of a hit in the second minute of the match.
Crouch!
He'll be out for 3 or 4 weeks.
Bind!
Scrum on halfway.
Set!
And that's beautifully taken in the air. That's the sort of tackle and collision that's been in the news the last few weeks. And, well, this is going to be interesting. It looks like Bryn Urairau was in the air. Have a look here. Oh, goodness me. And Hood wasn't watching at all. And
Well, it'd be a terrible thing to cop a blow like that and then get marched off the paddock for not protecting the man of the year. But given the lottery that these decisions have been made over the last few weeks, we could see anything here.
So,
What a turning point this might be.
Hood there looking dazed and confused.
Well, I'm not surprised. Poor old Jamie Hood. He's just run flush into that.
Captain Blue, 23.
It's a terrible thing when you're watching the ball.
Oh, good.
He was
James.
watching the player, though, so what's going to happen here? If the last few weeks is anything to go by, he's going to be possibly looking at a red card.
Well, thankfully, Boozer, we can rest assured at night that the referees have a process that they follow to the exact letter of the law.
Yeah.
And then it leads to selling newspapers, which is pretty good all round, I think. Yep.
Oh, that's
Jamie
God.
Hood has scored the left knee to the side of the head.
Yep.
That's not what he signed up for this morning, I
23,
don't
when
think.
he's
Good to
ready,
see him
can
back
come
on his feet, though.
So, You understand the law?
Yeah, I know.
So he's jumped.
I'll
I'll explain. I explained him too.
Didn't land
gone
on his
into
head,
the ball.
so
Yeah, yeah,
that's out of the equation in terms of consequences, perhaps.
What's your ruling, sir?
So
Yeah, that's
yellow's
clumsy
gone for the
from
ball.
Hood, you got
You're
to
not
say.
in a realistic
I mean,
position
for all his
to catch the ball.
experience,
You've then taken the man's legs out. You've handed dangerously to yellow card.
I don't think it's good for him. What's he been given? It's a yellow. And maybe a
sure.
concussion to go with it. He's come on for a concussed Neville. Maybe he's okay. Doesn't look too groggy there.
Time back on.
He could have had his head taken off.
Tackle
So-
man, yeah.
Well, how that's not a blue card either, I don't know. I don't know if you can run both of them at once, but
So both fullbacks on the naughty chairs at the moment. Hanley should be back on momentarily as we see out the 32nd minute here. It's a chance for the Cook Islands to perhaps get a try or two before half time.
Here's Mark Lowe.
well, it's a rough old game, this rugby union, thankfully. It's not for everyone. Both players, Jamie Hood looks all right. Play on.
That's gone sailing over the back into the hands of Rosley. A botched line out. Woodward looks for Denmark. Gets collared by Christian Vainetani. Haven't seen much of him at all. Fulgrave gets manhandled by Eru. Kaduli scampers around. It's untidy. It's touch rugby out there at the moment. Kaduli pops it over the top. That's a nice box kick. It's very deep. It's kept it in. Still down to 14 as Bryn Uriarau takes that up to the halfway. Campbell now to his skipper, Anderson Heather, and it's well read. Out of the blocks came Yukam Shing. Oh, big head going in there. Yukam Shing shakes his head as he got smashed by Anderson Heather. Here comes Campbell again. They're way behind the game line. Roberts goes low. Good tackle from him. Kotika pops it over the top. Kaduli's back there, and look out. He gets absolutely nailed, and bearing down on him was Kotika. And Vainetani, tough little player. This Woodward takes a couple of big ones in there. A bit scrappy.
Looks
Jed.
like the Cooks have got Hong Kong right in the crosshairs at the moment. I've got a funny feeling the scoreboard
I need him to pack a scrum.
is kind of being ignored while the scoreboard in the head is ticking over at a rapid rate of knots. It's only
Knock on,
there's a
my
bit of
boy.
a problem. Well, it can be an issue with Island teams when they decide that it's time to get grumpy.
Lost a shoe, mate.
You might win the game, but you felt like you've lost the war.
Good debate raging on the Facebook feed
Yeah,
about
they'll manage
that
it.
yellow card.
They'll manage it.
Keep your comments
They will
coming
manage it.
if you're joining
Why don't
via
manage it, they
Facebook.
do.
Great having you with us, especially if you're all the way down in the Cook Islands watching this. Fantastic time.
They'll be on broadband in the Cook Islands, the Rarotonga. There'll be one broadband, but they'll all be on it.
Yellow ball. Over here.
Gathered round. Beautiful part of the world.
Had the Hong Kong manager saying to me that there
Ready to
was
go?
a little surprised at some of the cool air that was blowing in late at night while they were up. And a terrible thought, isn't it, to be freezing in the tropical islands. Poor old Richard Cook had to go to his room
Yeah, knock on.
and get his hoodie because he was cold.
Let's go.
So a
Yeah,
bit of a
Knock on.
lull in this match with two players
Time
in
on.
the bin, two attacking
Knock on.
fullbacks.
Scrum. Yellow ball.
It was a knock on by Kaduli. So with 6.5 minutes left in this first half,
Where's your mark?
Cook Islands still searching for their first try of the series. Ben Roberts, the Welsh Hong Konger. There's buildings in the background there. It's an amphitheatre of glass and steel here.
Oh. Crowd.
You can see the referees with their socks pulled up.
Boy.
Nicely pulled up too, very correct.
Pull your socks up, lad.
Set.
More trouble on this side.
You might get mentioned in citation the way those socks are up. I don't think they're ever coming down.
I'll sort it out. I'll sort it out.
Hanley is warming up. He should be entering back into the field imminently.
Got it? No, thank you.
Dylan Rogers, he loves this sort of stuff, the Biltong chief.
Height, shoulders above
Telling
hips,
the refs so
shoulders
as
above
well
hips for me, please.
how much he's enjoying himself today.
Birthday earlier this week too for the Biltong chief.
How old's the chief?
He said he wasn't putting candles in anymore because it melts the cake.
Fine!
I think he's 33 or 4.
Well,
Set!
it's probably just the best guessed anyway.
They don't keep records in South Africa. Koteka fires one out to Joyce. They're deep. This is good. Still with one of their outside backs missing. Lex Kalika with the tackle. Vainga goes low. Does Cunningham. Does the job. Lowers the big man. And there's the ball just sitting there. Where's Koteka? He's in the ruck. Campbell, how's he injected himself in the last couple of minutes? His boot comes flying off. And again, Koteka can't get to the breakdown. Joyce pops it up to Smith Wano, and he's knocked it on. That's tragic, and so is Rosley. So all over the place at the moment. That's what happens when your fullbacks go off. They're like a rudder. Steer the ship from the back.
They're like a flag on a chopper bicycle.
A lot of people think they don't do much. As a fullback, I can tell you, they're unsung heroes. They're the real heroes out there.
That's right. No one fears the conditions more than a fullback. I tell you what, for free, Captain Cunningham here, just down on his haunches at the moment. He went man on man with Tyrone Vainga. And I don't know if he's really looking forward to having to do that again. My word, you can just feel your toes curl when Vainga gets the ball. What an absolute monster he is.
He's a man who enjoys his work.
Knock on by you, blue.
Pro rugby player.
Sorry, mate.
Heaviest man out there until Jack Parfitt takes the field. And speaking of Parfitt, the bench, the Hong Kong bench, well, that's a card up Lee Jones's sleeve. They've been superb through the Asia Rugby Championship. The Parfitt brothers, Kane Boko, the Hong Kong Scottish number 8, bringing these players on in the second half will be valuable. And then in the backs, Jamie Lauder could come on for his 6th test match today.
Fine! Set!
Big Dan trying to get this crowd going as we zoom in on half time, and what a scrum.
And rolled them over. The Cook Islands, maybe just capturing Hong Kong, napping there up front. But that wasn't a good look from Dylan Rogers. As he went backwards, he just looked over the falls as if to say, help me.
So a moral victory there. Boosting, clearly, visibly boosting the pack there. A glint in their eyes. And Joyce nails it down towards the corner. And they've got to get this line out right. Couple over the back, haven't gone to hand. They've applied no pressure in the 22. And for their sake, and everyone back home, it'll be good to see them put something together and get across the chalk. Give them something to go into the sheds at half time, get their tails up, get this game back on. Here they come, first job done. Eru Smith-Wano with the insurge there. It's slow as Finn. What a pest he is getting his hands on that ball.
Play on.
Eru. Finn somehow gets up and gets on top and he wins it. What a demon he is, Toby Finn.
Oh, terrific work. One of the only genuine loose forward fetchers in the Hong Kong Premiership. How many times has he stood out for his club teams? When he was with the Tigers, he was quite often the man that kept them in the match. And he came over to Valley. He's been a big part of the V8 effort for the last few years. Great character around the traps, Toby Finn.
It's up to you two.
Pretty fair
How
footballer
you
too.
want to play this game, okay?
The debate still rages 10
Got a couple
minutes
seconds
later,
left.
and
You
Big
don't need
Tom
any
Hall
more
wading
niggling
in
over
with
this
rules are
one.
rules.
You
It's a
personally.
card, and
Blue
let's
one over
just
there. Played you niggling
underline
before.
it there.
Well, at
Let's
least he
cut
wasn't
it.
going to his
Let's
physics
play rugby,
background.
please. Have a chat to the boys. Have a chat to the boys. I thought he was straight on the ball.
Let it go,
That one over there,
Patrick.
yes. That one there,
done.
straight on the ball.
And you
No.
won't win this debate on Facebook, as there's a bit of debate about
Time
what's
on.
going to happen here.
Well, no one ever got coat hanging at a
Holding on.
debate.
Kotunga. Toby Fan puts his head in very dark places, places where not many other players want to go. And just to think, Kane Boko is on the bench. It's a good looking back row. Rosley just gets that one 20-30 downfield.
Well, he did very well, didn't he, Toby Fenn? He just presented a great picture to the referee. He's nice and square, hands on. Great work from Hong Kong at the line out.
Jack Delaforce. Kaduli gives Denmark something to chase, and he hears off after it. Ooh, and every time someone goes up now, there's a groan from the crowd. Denmark there taking responsibility and having a look at the player.
Knock on.
And that's been dropped cold by Cook Islands.
Well, here's the hair. The hair okay?
Well, he's just come back on. What you're meant to do after coming off the chair is put in a good shift to
Over here, boys.
tell your teammates that you're back, you're sorry, and you're here to make amends. And he's done the opposite, but the hair's good. So in this final minute, a last chance for Hong Kong as 40 rolls over on the clock. Are they interested in further points? I'm sure they are.
Let's see what they got. To be a good chance now for young Kadu Lee in the halfback here to show some of his cards.
Woodward and Denmark are to the left as the Cooks come in with a second shove and put Lee off his work. It's a knock on though, and that's a great shove from the Cook Islands. So they've done well there to deny Hong Kong a final effort at points, and referee Damon Murphy calls this first half to an end. What a 40 we've had. It seems like 80 already. Lots of action, just the 2 tries. But it feels like we've been here all day, and the Cook Islands go in with a donut to their credit. Jed, what is going to have to happen here? What's Stan Wright going to say to these Cook Islanders?
Well, there's nothing. It's a death or glory now, I think, for the Cook Islands. 17 points adrift in Hong Kong, and Hong Kong were taking in roughly, 16 points or 23 points out of the first test match. It's now a 40-point differential. It's not looking massive very good for the Cook Islands. But they do have the capacity, if they can make it click, to score tries. You've seen the ball carriers they've got. You've seen the strength they have when they do carry it. And my word, those tackles don't miss when they come in steep and fast like they have. But Hong Kong, all the questions the Cooks have fired at them, they've taken it up, they've taken it on board, and then they've driven the Cook Islands back to their line and scored on them. Those 17 points in that first half, they've all been hard-earned by Hong Kong. They've shown some real resilience. And as well as that, they've shown they've been playing with some pretty good freedom as well. The ability to identify gaps, put the ball into space, particularly when the Cooks went down to 14 men. They leapt on that opportunity immediately, Hong Kong. Lee Jones has got to be happy about that.
We'll take a short break, get yourself a beverage, visit the bathroom. We'll be back in a few moments.
first half there as Yu Kam Shing dots down for Hong Kong's first effort. Nice sharp work by Hong Kong to move the ball wide into space. The Cooks, though, they're not going to go quietly. Look at the intent. They carry up this ball. A little bit of action off the ball through Sean Eru and Matt Rosley. It's been a heavy 40 minutes for players on both sides. Lots of heavy contact, plenty of vigour, and then this second try effort to Max Woodward. Hong Kong exploiting the man advantage as the fullback Hadley had been sent off. And this collision led to a pretty groggy Jamie Hood making his way off the park under a yellow card. Hong Kong down to 14. It's been a real talking point online. We've seen enough of these collisions now to expect, well, nothing less than a card, and that's what got handed out to Jamie Hood on that occasion. Kia ora, here's our whānau from the Cooks. Ronnie Rutland centre stage over there amongst all the members, is he, or is he keeping it public? Grant Boozavel.
So the Kowloon old boys over there, John the Bruce.
Anson Bailey.
Anson Bailey, who has been attacked online by Facebook. He's been very hurt recently by some trolling. As Lee Jones comes back out, this man on a mission. He's got 1 foot on the plane. It's 3 or 4 months later. It's a bit of a wait. Domestic season here kicks off on September 22nd. Be a few rounds of that. Maybe cotton wooling some of these players. And there are the second tranche of players coming through this program in Hong Kong. See Dane Jans there. A hooker with potential, you must say.
Well, good to see some Cook Island fans here in Hong Kong. Sean Eru, he's arrived with a strong reputation, of course, New Zealand under-20 player, and an outstanding player he was too. There's the Island girls.
Having a good time here down at the football club. Big Dan's got the stands rocking away, and beverages are being refilled. War stories being recounted here in the stands. A good 2,000 or 3,000 people down here today. It's not a huge capacity at the football club, but it's cosy. And there's the first rugby experience for that young nipper.
Loves it. Absolutely loves it. I adore it, Dad. Bring me down every weekend.
He looks Hong Kong qualified. I've got my eye on him as the bench players come back along, and big question now is when will Stan Wright and Lee Jones start to roll the bench? As Richard Cook puts on a rare burst of speed across the field. There is Stan Wright with his 9 international points. We've got to get the lowdown on this, Jed, how those 3 points came about. Props not known for their kicking abilities. Well, not amongst the wider population. Damon Murphy then gets us underway. Reece Joyce goes deep down to Max Denmark, who's knocked that back to Max Woodward. The 2 Maxes there tidying that one up. And they get it under control for Rosley here. Unloads onto that right cannon. They did well to cut his angle down. And there is Marnus Hanley, 10 minutes in the bin at the end of that second half. He'll have to inject himself now, make amends. There is the Albatross, the Vulture, Toby Finn. There's Big Dylan.
Go boys, set the line.
40 minutes between Hong Kong and Rugby World Cup history for them anyway. Repechage in France in November. Again, the line out has been butchered by the Cooks. Denmark finds himself in the back line. Scoots out of 2 or 3, ducks under a 4th. Does enough for the forwards to rally around him. Delaforce gets out of a flying
Leave him now!
Smith Wainer there. And just struggling to get this one under control to exit Hong Kong. Finally it goes back. Woodward gets it from Rosley and just has to get out of the 22. Can't kick it out on the full. Doing well there. Woodward presents it beautifully on a silver tray, taken back by Kaduli. Yes, it was. So it'll be a first scrum in this second half for the Cooks right on the 22, looking to get themselves into this game.
Yeah, no, across a bit for me. Just hold. Yeah, perfect.
Jamie Hood is off the chair, takes his position at fullback. No sign of a concussion there. From the blind comes Bryn Uriarau. And they've turned it over there. Who was that? It was one player in there.
Shing getting his head in there, but not on his feet, according to the referee. So an early opportunity off the back of the half. On the end of the half on a little bit of a high mentally. They walked Hong Kong off the ball. Now they find themselves deep in the corner. This is a period of play. The Cooks have got to finish it with points.
There's Reece Joyce. Plays his footy in Auckland for Mount Albert. A bit of a mixed bag for him. Slotted a drop goal in the first half, which was disallowed.
Ball 4 out.
They're just trying to organise themselves here, trundling towards the corner. Hong Kong trying to just edge them across the line, which they do in the end. So well organised, but in from the side, says Murphy. AJ Campbell there, look, he is desperate to get going. He's furious with Murphy for standing in his road.
Not an ideal situation to be trying to dictate terms to the referee when he's giving you a penalty 5 metres from the opposition line. If common sense prevails, the front row will just shut his trap.
I'd like to have seen him just gone straight through Murphy there and under the post perhaps with Murphy on his shoulders. But they've gone for the scrum, the Cooks. They haven't exactly dominated it, but it ties up 8 good men. The back line is very wide out of your picture. Josh Tinamana.
Crouch!
He hasn't had the ball hardly at all this game, out on this wing in front of us. Murphy wants this one to go down again.
Both teams pre-engaged. We spoke about it. It's been good.
There you can see
Both of you. Gap up in those front rows. Stepping right up to Hong Kong. Ben Roberts, he's a good scrummaging hooker for Hong Kong. There's a lot of the old OG style about the way he applies his trade up front. Anderson Heatherday, captain of the New Zealand Barbarians team that took on the Lions last year. Otago skipper.
Dan Barlow's in on the loose head side, and that one's gone sideways to get it out. Here's Joyce on his shoulder. It was Uriarau, and the two centres collide. This is a rare incursion by the Cooks as Vainga doesn't make too much. Here's James Pakodi. Ukam Shing gets in the road, this wily old campaigner, and gets manhandled in the air by Iru Smith-Waino. And they've turned it over again in the red zone. That'll be frustrating for them. Lee pops it over the top. He's kept that in. It's going to hit some grass. It does fall into the hands of Hewson with the quick hands. Can't hit Hood. Kalika. He's got Denmark outside him. Can he put Denmark in some space? Denmark off the left, off the right, beats 2. Coming across was Jean Tiamo. This is good from Hong Kong. Cook Islands are tracking back, 3 or 4 of them still to get behind the ball. Dan Barlow, the link man. Rosley, he's got Delaforce with him. Doesn't find it. Here we go, Rogers there with a beautiful pass to Woodward. The in, the out. Was that forward from Barlow? Yes, it was. And
4 yellow offside.
good high energy moment there for the crowd to get involved in.
Yep.
Well, all came from
yellow offside.
a loose pass back in front of the Hong Kong try line. And then just with sheer tenacity,
the ball just spat
the
straight
Hong
out.
Kong team answer the pressure.
I'll keep an eye on it for you.
They find the breakout. Denmark did beautifully to stay on his feet. Cover got across. They moved it into attack mode. Caught the Cook Islands. Well, did they catch him out, or did the Cooks give them the penalty? One of the two. Look at this. Here's one. Done 2. 3. Doesn't want to know about it. 4 comes over and does the job. But he sucked the best part of 5 or 6 players into 10 metres, Max Denmark. It'll make a big difference on a track like this.
He's one of the most exciting prospects for a couple of years now. You had players like Rowan Vardy, Tom and Alex McQueen. Dynamic, elusive runners, 3/4 players. As Rosley puts that one down the middle, the Japanese assistant referees give it the nod, and we're underway in the second half finally after 8 minutes. Hong Kong pushing out then to a 20-point lead here at the football club. Cook Islands just unable to get anything going in the red zone. And you can understand it. This Hong Kong squad's been together through a campaign since April. 4 test matches and the one last week. And that is very evident here as Rosley again unloads. Who have we got here? It's Urairao taking that one up. Gets it across the halfway line. Have a look at the line speed here if we see it. If it comes out, doesn't though. It's all locked up in there. The energy of the Hong Kong defence is still running at 100. And with every moment of this game that passes, it'll continue to increase as they sniff something great about to happen. And here we have an important substitution, Jed.
Very interesting to see Jamie Lauder making his way in for Kadu Lee.
Just 4, no, hang on. 4, wait, 4.
Good turn by the youngster.
Just 9, 4 blue.
Coming off the warm applause, but here he is, Jamie Lauder from the Natixis Club here at the Hong Kong Football Club. Premier player. He's a fan favourite. They love him here. And he could be quite devastating for the Cooks. He is a very quick player. He does love to chance the arm and have a look around the outside of that ruck area. Cook Islands will need to keep a very, very close eye on young Mr. Lauder.
His 6th international appearance. Got a run on in all of the Asia Rugby Championship matches, just cameos normally, and had a good half last week in Rarotonga.
The interesting thing here is, you know, you make the point about the Cook Islands looking unlucky when they get down towards the Hong Kong try line. One team's unlucky as another team's luck. The Hong Kong side, they're working hard. And they're put in those defensive positions. And they're scrambling, they're desperate, they're holding on to their line. And let's be honest, they're coming up to 130 minutes of playing time that they've managed to keep the Cook Islands out of their line. There's been no tries from the Cook Islands in the first 80. There was none in the first 40 of this game. And the way things are going, Hong Kong might hold them. I wonder if that's a team goal.
Yeah, it is surprising. Before the series, you know, we expected the ball to be thrown around a lot more, sort of island style. They haven't managed to sort of compensate for their lack of time together by just playing some good old-fashioned barbarian style. Cook Islands throw the ball around, but here they come now. It's Vaenga with a big surge into the 22. Into the red zone they come. Joyce steps off the right. Bends that knee right, and Koteka. It's just each man for himself now. One-upmanship here. Smith Waino there. He's been good. He's had 3 or 4 big runs. And that's Rob Heather, who led the haka, and that was the last time we really saw him. There he is, though. Vaenga. The ball out the back, and it's just... And it's frustrating. even in the commentary box, when you want the side to get something going, and stands on his feet in front of us. Looks like he's going to roll a couple of players as Mick Parfitt comes on for Hong Kong.
Substitution.
This huge, dynamic, loose forward. He's on by the looks for Jack Delaforce. Delaforce with a limp.
Looks like a bit of a dead leg for Jack Delaforce. He's put on a big shift, though. The second row for Hong Kong. Physically, it might look like a bit of a mismatch, but they've provided the full service today. Young Mick Parfitt, he'll have to get out there and get up to speed pretty quickly. I dare say, though, this might be his best position in the side going forward. Is just taking the last play and little bits of trickery like that. They've just been those coach killers at the Cook Islands. Have chucked out there 2 or 3 times already in this match. Last pass, just that little bit extra, a little bit of focus, a little bit of concentration. Not there at the time.
See some of the wounds from last week there on the face of Edu Smith-Wano. It was a bruising encounter. Both sides carrying some knocks into this game. Jamie Lauder with his first touch. It's solid. Lambalay at the back. Lex Kalika comes off a short ball. Does some work for Rosley. The forwards are queuing up. Roberts it is who puts his hand up. The whole 8 were there waiting. Lauder pops that one. That's on a good length, a good line and length. Nicely taken in the air from Uriarao. And they've got that back quite quickly. AJ Campbell puts his head down into Fenn, who gets busy on his task. Good hands from James Cora, just quickly across the face now. Here's Vaianga again, taken nicely low by Dan Barlow. Going nowhere yet, but they're holding the ball at this stage. Here's Tiamo. Smith-Wano goes in hard. God, he's a competitor, isn't he? But Hong Kong have turned that through Lex Kalika, and off goes Jamie Lauder. Gives it to Hood. There's no one in front of him. Hood's going to go all the way, is he? Jamie Hood on his home track. They sniffed it. Jamie Lauder. Good sense from this young scrum half. Almost instinctive. He just decided to go for it. And they've gone 60 metres down the field, and it's smiles all round. Try number 3 for Hong Kong. And that is the nail in the coffin as far as the Cook Islands are concerned.
Well, Jamie Hood will be the name in the scorer's book, but you can take that right back to the contact from Max Dearmark. Made a spot tackle, and then the awareness. Great work from Hong Kong. In fact, it must have been Lauder that made that initial tackle. And the Hong Kong players are there in numbers. They suss the space. And I'll tell you what, for the old boy on the side, he still has a little bit of toe left.
Ben Roberts comes off, and Alex Post will take the rake job. Dylan Rogers also coming off. Matt Rosley's 100 today, and this won't trouble him. 5 from 5. Matthew Rosley. So Lee Jones deciding to roll his front row. Jamie Hood just waving there to his fans at the Sportsman's Bar, egging them on. Back row for Hong Kong has been fantastic today. Still got players like Matt Lamming to come back into the frame. Jack Parfitt on Fort Rogers, the big man from Hong Kong, Scottish. Cunningham, what a big engine he's got. The skipper's still going after 55. They get a wedge on. Hewson's at the back and Lauder's urging him forward. Woodward's in there. What's he doing in there? Look at that, just running down the field. Parfitt joins in with his 130 kgs. And the Cook Islands coming from the side there. The referee on the side's got something to say about that. Rosley pops it back against the grain and will come back for a penalty probably, unless we get a wicked bounce here. Lauder goes in bolt upright. Sorry, it was post and Lauder. And assistant referee, we might come back and take another look at that. And they finally scramble it away. I think the assistant referee was either coming on to break up a fight or have a word to Murphy, but look at this, Jed.
Yeah, what a statement from Hong Kong.
Yeah, on me.
Coming into the 60-minute mark, 55 minutes deep in this game. Hong Kong pull out the trick. Poor Max Woodward getting a little bit of special attention there, but
I'll blow time on.
Rubbin's racing, as they say in the islands.
I thought it was that hit from the side that the assistant referee had caught his eye, but no worries, he reckons. Play on, fair enough. Post with his first shot, hits Houston. He scurries around the back there.
That's one.
And it's up nice and high there. Oh, look at that. Just rolling across the top of the table there, Pop Black style. Bit too upright. Here goes Lauder sniping. Denmark, he's got no room, but still he beats one. He beats two. Takes on 3 and 4. It's bounced up to Hood. They're 2 metres short again. They're all there. They're lining up now. They're hungry, the forwards. There's Cunningham. Big Parfitt there. Gets stopped in his tracks by Edu. Takes a big man to stop a big man. Looks like he's been smashed in the schnoz, has Jack Parfitt. Right on the line there. Surely they're over there. Ah, Murphy's right there, and the arm goes up. It's super sub Alex Post, the man they call Posty. He dots down for Hong Kong's 4th try. Superb work by the forwards.
Well, isn't that terrific? One of the guys with a whole career in front of him gets the ball in, the line out to Hong Kong's most capped player, and then finishes off the period of play with his first try for Hong Kong. Outstanding work. If we just take a look here. Takes a wee look there, understands what's going down in front of him, wheels off. Good strength, my word. Terrific stuff from the young player. A long time between drinks and Hong Kong colours. We saw him here playing for the Hong Kong under-20 side in the Junior World Trophy. He's a standout as a schoolboy. He went away, as so many of the Hong Kong players do at that age, to attend school offshore. They managed to keep him in the mix though. Great work.
Very shrewd move, having him here on vacation in his summer holidays, answering the call to the hooker crisis. Rosley trying to keep it out of Hundy. Looks like the crowd likes it, the touchies like it. He's 6 from 6, Rosley. 34-0, it's starting to blow out, still with 22 minutes left. And you can tell by the speed at which the Cooks are coming back to halfway how the energy levels are. There's a couple of substitutions being made. On comes Alex Matapo in 17 and Tui Paitai in 18. Paitai from the Morrinsville Sports Club, Matapo from Ponsonby. One of those clubs very famous, the other not, back in New Zealand. Lex Kalika also departs the field. On comes crowd favourite Ben Rimini for his 19th cap. He'll slot into fly half. Rosley will move out one. Look at Boko there, grabbing Parfitt. He's got one thing on his mind, and that's to project him into something big. Look at that midfield take. Aerial, beautifully done from Yu Kam Shing. The arm is out. Houston delivers. Coming on at pace is Cunningham. And they've got their tails up now. This is ominous for the Cook Islands. Ben Rimini on that left boot of his. He knows this field. Here comes Denmark. Oh, and he had the legs too. There's no way that Josh Tinamana was going to beat Woodward, but the ball won the race. Jed, Hong Kong look like they're trying to break out here in a big style.
Time, captain.
Well, the rolling maul for 25 metres down the middle of the pitch was probably the opening sign, and the try from Alex Paste. Now it just looks like they've got all the rub of the green, Hong Kong. It's like maybe a sideline report coming in.
Then pulled him up. Yellow card.
And the 10-minute rest has been issued.
Time back on.
Second yellow for the Cooks.
By the neck.
That's not going to help in this final quarter. We know that the Hong Kong boys are fit, they're well conditioned, they've got a good bench. So this last 20, it really could blow out. Ben Rimini plays his code across the road for the Valley. And 3 Hong Kong Scottish substitutions coming into that forward pack there. The Parfits and Boko, they're just not having their way at the moment. Trying to get that rolling maul going. Here it comes, Post at the back. Post got it. Well pulled down though, the arm is out. Yep, they've sacked that one. Lauder looks up. Boko with the quick, beautiful hands off to Cunningham. The arm is still out. Short ball to Parfit, takes a heavy hit. The 2 subs clashing, and Mick Parfit there can't scoop it at the base. So back for the penalty. Coming in from the side, says Murphy. And surely just plug the sideline here in another raid on this Cook Island try line.
18 yellow entry.
A bit of debate. The forwards
Scrum.
and Ben Rimini concedes to the scrum. They're licking their chops, aren't they?
Terrific opportunity for Hong Kong here. Cook Islands will be forced to stand back on their try line. Good sized blind side. Plenty of options off the back of here. All Hong Kong have got to do is keep it steady. They get some reasonably heady players up front between Barlow and Parfit. They might even try and tickle a penalty out of them again. Who knows? Stand by. Short side play, possibly underway.
Yu Kam Shing is in the pocket, straight behind the scrum, and another penalty. Surely they'll just put it down again and just work up the ire of Murphy into awarding, at the very least, a penalty try if they can't manage to get across themselves. Look at the size of Parfit over there, number 18. According to the program, he's 120 kilos. According to Dylan Rogers, he's 140. He was leaning on a bench when he was on the scales, according to Big Dill.
Fine. Set.
And that's a mess, isn't it? That's a bag of spanners. And that's what happens when you change the front rows. They take a while to get sorted. The Cooks seem to be going backwards there.
Stability for me, please. Put you in the right position, please.
Well, you're down your number 8 if you're the Cook Islands. You'll be pulling out all sorts of jiggery pokery to get rid of the next 10 minutes.
Jiggery pokery. And look, Mr. Murphy now. He's eagle eyes on that side.
Fine.
He knows something's going on. He won't be fooled. Hong Kong just have to keep it straight and look down on the ground there. The arm is out. They trundle forward. Boko, we've seen him doing this tap dancing down the field. And here we go. It's a double blast.
Captain.
Words will be had.
No. Listen to me. He's collapsed. And then stood
Time
up.
off,
This is
so
your final warning. You don't stay in the contest.
no more scratching into the 10-minute card.
Scrum.
That's a final warning there from Murphy.
Sam Anderson Heather looking suspiciously around, trying to figure out another way of eking out another 60, 70, 80 seconds maybe.
It's all fun and games.
This is not coming down to yellow cards, Peter.
Well, if anything goes wrong here, I think we're down for a yellow and perhaps a penalty try. If they can just get it marching forward, Hong Kong, and that's what they're doing. Boko's got it. Here comes the second shove. It's in order. They come around. Referee's on his way to the post. He had no option there. It's well worked. Good gamemanship by the Hong Kong forwards. And they get try number 5. Depleted Cook Islands pack. Nothing to answer.
Well, it might be time to ask for the final nail.
Or the fat lady.
Well, he'll possibly say. Jack Parfitt making his way back after putting in a fairly tidy shift in the last few scrums, but Hong Kong doing the right thing by the Cook Islands here. They've come up. They've wanted to wage war away from home. They've come up with a focus. But Hong Kong, to their credit, I think they might have broken their hearts with this one. The referee heads off to the black dot. But Hong Kong know that was a big moment for them. It's a big moment in their trip towards the Rugby World Cup in 2019. November looks almost as good as on now, ladies and gentlemen. It would take something seriously remarkable for this Cook Island team to come back.
And we know for sure it's going to be Canada. It's going to be Germany. And it's going to be Africa too. Zimbabwe probably looks likely to be Zimbabwe, Namibia, or Uganda perhaps. As Rimini unleashes that left of his, and no advantage, offside, and the referee is really losing his rag here. Someone might get carded. Not sure, no one got carded as a result of that scrum. Yes, it was. It's the loose-head prop Campbell that's on the chair already, so 2 in the bin already. Murphy speaks to skipper Anderson Heather that he's gonna, he says, go and talk to your boys. You've got 15 minutes left in this campaign. What are you going to do?
Time on.
There is the healthy glow of Jack Parfitt in 18. Big Tyrone
Sorry, time off.
sitting back. He looks like Debo from the movie Friday, doesn't he?
Look at Matt Rod in there. World-class
lad.
stopwatch handling.
That's
His
enough
mum
time,
will be
let's go,
watching. She watches all his games, even when he's just on the sidelines.
You can see why Matt Rodden asked him to sit down. He's almost half as tall as him sitting down.
The running man. The Friar. Rimini, with very little angle, has done extremely well to pick off 50 metres with about 5 metres of space.
Spoke to Cook Island coach Stan Wright midweek. And he made mention of Ben Rimini. The maestro with the left foot. He's cut down the park many times for Hong Kong.
Post. Hits JC. Matt Rosley fuller running. The fly half's been good this week. Jamie Lauder there, it bobbles at the back and there's hands in. I think there's going to be a yellow card here. And Rimini says, we'll just pop that over for 3, shall we? Murphy agrees and he gives it a double blast. I think we're going to have a 3rd yellow here. Yes, we have. It's an absolute travesty. Edu Smith-Wanu. And the 3rd player, we're down to 12 here, Jed. They are used to playing rugby league, perhaps. This is terrible. It was blatant, though, and they were warned. And Rimini just takes the 3 anyway. They're out to 44-0.
Well, a loose forward being caught for cheating. Shock, horror. The game of rugby continues on. Habitual line steppers anyway in those positions, Grant.
Well, I just don't want the headline to be 12-man Cook Islands beaten in the heat, because
it's not hot.
It's not hot, no. 12 men beaten in the lukewarm conditions, and well, there's 13, 14 minutes left. It's a heroic effort if they can just stay in this game now. Joyce running sideways. Runs out of players to give it to as Cunningham goes in. 5 Cook Islands players in there, no Hong Kong players in that ruck. Just conserving their energy. Picking them off when they come around the sides, Hong Kong. On a short ball, Tiamo gets up and goes again. Max Denmark tries to keep him in the air. Parfitt backs it back to Lauder. Here's Hood, he looks up, sizes the situation up. Kane Boko there, juggles it and then gets boshed.
Leave it, leave it, leave it.
It's a good hit indeed. Rimini now, they're sensing there's got to be a gap here, surely with 3 men off the field. Here comes Cunningham, Denmark. Look at this boy go. It's a good tackle though. Cunningham comes in and helps him out. Rimini too, throws his 70 kilos into the freight. Surely there's a mismatch somewhere here. They can't find it, and so Hood kicks deep. Chugging back is Bryn Uriarau, and he puts it across. That's a shocking kick. Goes to Cunningham. They'll be looking for Woodward. Sorry, Denmark. They're just struggling here. They were doing better against 15. Maybe trying too hard. Just need to stick to their structure here a bit. Woodward to Hood. Yu Kam Shing gets on the outside of Edu. He can't tell him. It's 3-on-1. Gives it inside to the postman. The postman goes in for try number 2. And how about that for the substitute hooker? They finally find the gap. Yu Kam Shing, they are in for try number 6 as we edge towards the 5-0.
Well, words are absolutely spot on, Boozer. Yes, all Hong Kong had to do was just relax, let the ball do the work. They've got the mismatches. There it is. Fleet-footed winger versus second rower. And smart ball back on the inside to Alex Post. Well, the only thing that'll make Alex Post's decision seem better for answering the call for Hong Kong and scoring a try, we'll make that scoring 2 tries.
Number 23 for the Cook Islands, Jamian Iroa is on. From the Tupapa Club in the Cook Islands is Rosley here. This incredible performance today with the boot. Hasn't missed all day. And this will take them across the 50 here in the 70th minute. Just to the right of the posts. And he won't be undone at this stage of the game. So 10 minutes remaining. It's Hong Kong 51. The Cook Islands 0. They've got 1 player back in to the plate. But still, they have 2 in the naughty chair. There's the postman, Alexander Post. Be the first to like this post as Kane Boko goes up, diffuses the high chip. The Parfit's trundling around the as Hewson still going at 70 minutes, the veteran. Woodward takes it on the hip, pops it up to Mick Parfit. Good skills from the big men, but it went forward, said Murphy. He was on the spot. And the skill level has been taken up a notch this week by Hong Kong. Very few unforced errors today. It's been percentage rugby. It's been high skill, high energy, and it's reflected on the scoreboard. Cook Islands have been blown away here.
Well, any comments about the Cook Islands being tired, probably just need to watch a little bit closer. Some of these contacts are still pretty intense. Jamie Hood left the last engagement, shaking his head a little bit.
Set!
Good shot from Hong Kong. There's marginal. And they get the timing right there. Trying to go early.
New hooker.
Kick that gap for me.
And Matt Mullaney.
Stability, yeah. Stability, it's fine. We'll repack.
Big greetings to all the friends and family and Waiahiki and Taradale. Hawke's Bay.
Crouch! Boy!
I'll be tuning in, watching Matt and Greg
Re-engage, boys.
performing for the Cook Islands today. They'll be proud of them.
Banger's back on the field. Here he goes. Puts the knee into Cunningham, and Cunningham comes off second best on this occasion. But they've won it, and that's after the whistle. That was close. He'd come in full noise as a flag out. I think he was committed as the whistle was blowing. Let's have a look here. Wow. Well,
Step back. Mate, step back.
who did the work there for the turnover? Mick Parfitt, maybe.
Fairly heavy contact. Referees are just going to compare notes here.
Yeah.
It was Vaianga that
No arms.
flurried it
Any
forward.
recommendation?
Cunningham caught the brunt of it.
16 yellow.
Strong work. Yep, and then right on whistle time.
No arms. Leaving the shoulder. Yellow
Oh, I don't believe it. A fourth yellow.
Matt Mulaney. Well, I don't even think he's broken
Time
his
back
sweat
on.
yet.
And his game's over.
No arms.
No arms is the call, so it wasn't a matter of timing. It was just clumsy. He's only been on a minute. How do you get so frustrated within 1 minute? So they're back to 13
Here it
again.
is. Here's Vaianga under contact. Poor old James Cunningham. Yeah, they got rid of him early. Pico and Barlow in over the action. You don't really get a sense of how quickly that went down through the slow-mo, but Matt Mulaney turned up and, well, ended a yellow card.
Nice ball, wide ball from Lauder. And they go for the double miss with Rimini not getting it quite right. Hugh Kempshin takes it on the bounce. Woodward snipes. Lauder gets across there. Parfitt puts the big thighs in. Vaianga gets spat out the back, and is he rolling away to the referee's satisfaction? Yes. Fenn to Rosley. Here goes Wood, Denmark. Taken nice and low from Koteka. Good tackle from the scrum half. Coming at pace from deep is Barlow, and he takes on three of them. Good work from the loose head, Parfitt. This is quick recycling here. It's killing the Cook Islands. Rimini gets it to Fenn, to Woodward. Hoodie's out there. Looks for Ukam Shing, pops it in behind the defence, and they get across and cover it. So it's well defended. They're certainly not giving up, are they? They're chasing everything and putting the hits in, regardless of the scoreboard.
Well, Hong Kong have got the Cooks fully on the ropes at the moment. You get the feeling the knockout shot's already been delivered.
Time.
And I get the sense that Hong Kong won't quit until the Cook Islands are flat on their back.
So this would be
Yeah, so there is no HIA.
shot for Hong Kong.
So he goes off for his head. He's done. So if you're recommending him to go off, he has to go off. He cannot return.
His history pre or post handover 97.
You can check him out. More than welcome. to.
Normally,
Come and let me
because Hong Kong plays Japan every year, it's hard to get away with more than a few games in a streak. There's Jamie Sang, injured hooker.
know.
Just some concussion checks here, perhaps. Looks a bit phased.
All good.
These youngsters were there.
All good.
The day that history was made, Hong Kong taking
Time
a
on.
big step forward here today. Exciting times in November. What a contest that'll be around Robin to decide who gets spot 20 for the Rugby World Cup in Japan next year. What a thrill. Here goes Boko. Puts his ears down and his head. Jamie Lauder on the spot. Here's Parfitt. He goes in with that trademark forearm. Woodward puts on a little bit of a shimmy. Tries to get on the outside of Tinumana. And it's just wave after wave here. Rosley goes wide, Hood hits it at pace. He's got Hewson and Ukam Shing with him. Hewson links, but the covering defence is good once again, and that's defensive desperation by the Cook Islands. You've got to take your hat off to them. Less men on the field, the harder they work.
Well, Ukam Shing, look at this. You just about win a repeat on. Oh, my word. Forced acrobatics, you could call it.
Matapakia there with the covering tackle there. Fresh legs and enjoying his work there. Ukam Shing, 46 tests.
Boys, set the line.
He's right up there in the top 10.
Cross, on me. Marks on me. Come across.
Maybe the top 5 of all time cap winners for the territory. Hewson just helps himself to that one. Wasn't straight. Cunningham, they're lining up again. James Cunningham, good discipline not to fire that one out. Would have been a 50-50. The Cook Islands have snaffled it. Rosley scoots round and takes it. It was there for the taking.
Ball wasn't out.
But offside apparently.
Tough.
Thought he had
No, it's tough. He's still behind his feet. I know
done
you
himself
can
a
see it.
Toby Fenn there.
What's that? No, you're offside.
Too fast, says Murphy.
Say that again. Yeah, sweet. Bring him on. There's your mark.
Four minutes remaining.
Oh, these final moments for Hong Kong to enjoy. These last few minutes. The next rugby will be happening offshore, so I'll be wanting to send the crowd home on a happy note. One more score from Hong Kong. Let's go.
Tui Paitai. Placement hooker. They get it back, but Fenn has threw them on like a rabid dog.
Great run by him.
Good tackle from Barlow as well. Behind the game line. Putting his head down. Stopel Aru. Little chip over the top from Koteka. Takes things into his own hands, the little scrum half. Here goes Paitai into contact just on the halfway. Joyce now looks over, sees there's a bit of grass back there, but Denmark's coming back and Boko is with him and it's bobbling around. He fires a big one inside to Lauder, who doesn't really have the stomach to take it any further. No one behind him, so he just scurries that one out. Not as great as kick, and it was taken back, say the referees. So it'll be a line out inside the Hong Kong 22, a very rare opportunity down in this part of the field in this second half. Not much for these fans down this end of the field to look at this second half.
Great work from Hong Kong.
Yeah, good contest at the front. Here comes Postman. Takes a big knock. Puts Alex Matapo on his haunches. Kambako and Eru gets one around the collar, and Eru immediately says, no harm there, mate. He's almost expecting the ref to come over with his hand in his pocket.
He was halfway ready to walk off the chair, wasn't he? In about 3 minutes' time, he can sit down for the rest of the night.
Parfitt tries to win that one. He goes up. His lifters don't bring him down very sympathetically, but he's knocked it on. There'll be a scrum here on the 22. There's three Cook Islanders down on their knees, taking a big breath. It is Eru who's down, the big man. He's put in a shift here, 78 minutes, and he's still going.
Well, he would have been disappointed that he came from the field last weekend.
Time on.
Playing an international for the Cook Islands and Rarotonga. That'd be something pretty special. I don't think it would happen that often. So he's come to Hong Kong to stick out the full 80.
Time
That's
off.
good quality, isn't it?
Matthew, we right there? Yellow 7 off. Yellow 7.
Yes, they'll be departing Hong Kong tomorrow evening, so they'll have 24 hours in the city to enjoy each other's company and reflect on the campaign. I'm sure they'll do that in a responsible manner. And then they'll go their own separate ways back to wherever they're plying their trade.
Give me everything,
It's been a tough ask. No doubt they've grown together as a group. Into the final seconds now of this series. This two-leg qualifying series. The hooter.
Coach!
So this will be the last act of this match.
Set!
It collapses, but it's at the back. Koteka comes in and plays it fly half. There's a rear touch of the ball for Christian Vainarani. This is Tama Nicholas.
Leave it now,
The
leave
reserves
it!
getting a roll here. And they're just about 12 metres out now. No one would begrudge the Cook Islands a score here at the death. Be their only try of this two-match series. Here's Anderson Heather. They're 5 metres out now. Parfitt gets in there. Eru, look at him now. He's so close. He's got a sniff for it. Can he reach out? Boot comes off. And he's been penalised for a double movement. That's tragic for the Cook Islands. The crowd were ready to unleash applause finally for Cook Islands' score. And instead, it'll be Hong Kong through Rimini, who puts it over the sideline. And Damon Murphy brings this fixture to an end. It's been an absolute shellacking here. Hong Kong 51, the Cook Islands 0. A very demanding schedule for both these sides. Massive flights, 16 hours flying time, stopovers in New Zealand and Australia, and big time differences. Yu Kam Shing, scorer of 1 try, set up another, and it's 51 points to 0. And Hong Kong ramming it home. That difference on the world rankings is very evident. Hong Kong 21, the Cook Islands 54. And what a series for both these nations to get behind their sides and just share a little bit of the dream. These two teams have travelled the Rugby World Cup, the path to 2019, this one being won by Hong Kong. They will go forward to the repechage in November in France. And what a round robin that'll be. 3 or 4 months away, so time to regroup, play some domestic code, and launch into that final 20th spot. Rugby World Cup 2019. Good to see these players. They've really bashed it out here today. It's hot, it's humid, and going 80 minutes is not easy. The Cook Islands just undone with some discipline, just continuity, and having 4 yellow cards, 3 at one time. That certainly doesn't help. There's Alex Post, scorer of 2 tries. What a find. Super sub in the second half, coming on for Ben Roberts. Dan Barlow. There's AJ Campbell. Went to Fairfield College, which is about 100 metres from where I was brought up. Plays for Norths in Brisbane. And there you see Andrew Walker, the dual international, in this coaching staff. It'll be handshakes all round. A few brown fizzies later on, and we'll stand by for a few words down on sideline shortly. But here we have a couple of highlights for you from the second half. It really blew out in the second half. 17-0 at half time. There was Hood there. Jamie Lauder, what a sensation he has been. Hong Kong looking good with the scrum half ranks at the moment. with Liam Slatum, first choice scrum half, unavailable for this match. And there's the first try to Alex Post. Taking it off Hewson. Here was the new Cam Shin putting away. That was Post and Jamie Hook lining up, thinking they were going to receive that ball. And it's just raining tries at this point. Edu beaten on the outside there, as you'd expect. Post gets his second try. And then right at the death here, everyone thought Edu had a try, but he was on his knees, howled, and he was penalised there to be denied. And there are the Hong Kong lads there. Look at the elation. Lee Jones down the front there. Fantastic scenes from the production team here. What a campaign it's been this season. Clean sweep the Asia Rugby Championship, beating Korea and the Malaysians twice each. And the Cook Islands twice now, and just some solemn faces in there. They know they've been on a journey. They've grown. And hopefully they'll enjoy each other's company for the rest of this tour. May not see each other for a long time to come. The brotherhood of the Cook Islands players. And we are standing by now for a couple of words sideline. We are down sideline now. Jed Thyon is talking to the Victoria
Sideline
skipper,
now
James
with Victoria's captain, James Cunningham. Congratulations, an historic day. You've been part of an historic team.
Oh, mate, I'm speechless. You know, that was outstanding. You know, we did exactly what it said in the tin, and we got the result. You know, we got this points. We got a cricket score today, and it's exactly what we wanted. So, outstanding. I'm so stoked.
There was a few hurdles to get over last weekend, the travel, the recovery. How did you guys get through it? What was the frame of mind like this morning?
Oh, it's been a massive 2 weeks, you know, and this morning we knew the job wasn't done. You know, these guys can score from anywhere. You know, they're a huge physical team. You know, I was a speed bump a few times today. So we just turned up, we prepared like any other game. We're all switched on from the start, and, you know, we got the points. So I'm ecstatic, and I can't believe it. You know, we're going to France.
You're going to France, all right, and there's a big day, a big dance waiting in France. Think about this squad and think about the guys who've really put in. Who are some of the unnamed heroes in your squad at the moment?
Look, you know, a massive one's Posty. You know, he's come in a couple of weeks ago. He started last week. He's played, you know, a massive part today. You know, it's just outstanding, you know. And going forward, we've just got so much great talent, you know, that's going to be becoming qualified going into the repechage. So really exciting times ahead for Hong Kong, you know. So we've got the game against the Western Force in August, you know, it gives us the opportunity to play and blood some of our guys who are qualifying for November. So it's going to, you know, really exciting times for Hong Kong rugby.
And one more question before you split, mate. Join your team. France, the concept. Have you been thinking about it this week? How does it feel?
Look, you know, it's going to be an unbelievable challenge for us. You know, I think we've got the team to do it now. You know, there's some great confidence both with us and with the Hong Kong community now, and we've shown them what we can do. So hopefully the Hong Kong community get behind us for the next few months, and we can end up being in the World Cup in Japan.
Delighted for your success, mate. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you for everything. Yeah, cheers.
Hong Kong skipper James Cunningham. Hong Kong making their way to the repechage in France this November.
In France, as he calls it. Well, thank you for joining us throughout the series. We'll be back in a few months with the repechage in France. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye.